Let's go to this conversation now. The African National Congress will hold a national memorial service in honor of late Deputy Secretary General Jessie Duarte. She passed away on Sunday and was also laid to rest on the same day. Supporters are expected to come out in their numbers to pay their respects to her. Now, some have described her as a straight shooter who was also motherly. Let's speak to Nomvula Mokonyane, who's an ANC NEC member, who joins us now to talk about this. Thank you so much for your time. How have the few days been after the funeral for the ANC? I think you're on mute, Ma. Please unmute yourself, Ma.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you. Thank you.
Yes, it's been quite a difficult period with mixed emotions. Laughing at the life and times of Comrade Jessie, shedding a tear at some point, and listening attentively to other people as they also share the different experiences of having been touched by this gentle giant, Comrade Jessie Duarte. Personally, I also feel a bit empty, but have to soldier on, because she would have done this even for me had it been myself who had passed on, because I've seen her doing it for others.
I'd like to stay with you personally. You know, what are some of the fondest memories you have of her, and what gap does her passing leave for you as a friend, as a comrade as well?
We met, and she was older, and she remained older than me, and she had a bigger responsibility than myself. And we bonded to an extent where we called each other Choma. We'll do things that friends do. Some of those fond memories is about sharing together a meal, a drink, singing alone, having her driving me home after work in the 80s, and sometimes having to push the car that we had been given by her ex-husband, John. And one of our other friends who has passed on, a comrade, Feroza Adams, who Jessie had to organize a job for her to be a teacher in a Catholic school. So Jessie loved life. She loved life. And when it is time to work, she would also push you to the end. I will personally miss her when we have events like her memorial service, because she would have been with us at the City Hall. When it is January 8th, Jessie will be busy coordinating the statement, but she would also be amongst the last to leave the venue of the event, with a few of us early hours of the morning, but again be amongst the first to come after the venue has been cleared for the event. I would really miss someone also who embraced you with all your imperfections and would assist you to traverse untested waters, uncharted paths, because she understood that life is full of ups and downs. Being a mother, being an activist, being a wife, and being out there in the public, but at the end of the day, being yourself. She was able to do exactly that, Comrade Jessie.
Some have said that it's going to be a difficult road ahead for the ANC as you're going to conference, and she would have played a very critical role. What impact is her passing going to have as you are now going to the policy conference and then inching closer towards December?
It is already a difficult environment. Ordinarily, she will be coordinating the preparations for the policy conference. She would be in the center of organizing for the national conference. she would also infuse the feminist touch and also the inclusion of other diverse views into the process, so that then everybody, the entire collective, can own up to what is going to be a product called a national conference or a policy conference. She was a unifier. The matriarch is no more. The glue that kept the staff of the ANC in Lutuli House and everywhere in the country together. Somebody who by now would have been in touch with everybody and reassuring all of us that things will be okay. But at some point, she would also be hard in demanding that work gets done. That's the gentle giant. We are now left with 4 men in the top 6. We will miss that voice that will rise in a physical meeting or virtual meeting of the NEC to rein in everybody without fear or favor and without also demonizing other views, and also without putting herself as somebody who knows better than any other person, but will do things that will help you feel comfortable to being part of a meeting that she is involved in.
Let's look ahead then to tomorrow. Briefly tell us what we can expect.
We're having the memorial service at the Johannesburg City Hall. The program will start at exactly 2 o'clock. It will start with the Muslim prayer rites, followed by the national anthem and the AU anthem. We have a number of participants, members of the diplomatic corps, representatives of the alliance, representatives of the broader mass democratic movement. We have messages that would be read, and we also have the family that will pay a tribute again to Comrade Jessie. And later then, towards the end of the program, the main speaker will be the deputy. First, it will be the president, former president of the ANC, Comrade Thabo Mbeki, and then the deputy president of the ANC on behalf of the ANC. We'll have the leagues also included. This will be a celebration of a freedom fighter, a gender activist, a feminist, a mother, and a unifier. And that's why it will have all these diverse groups. There will be other programs and messages that will be screened because of the number of individuals who would have loved to speak in the memorial of Comrade Jessie. It is still emotional to work on this without her and without her supervision.
If you may allow me, let's just stay with the ANC and change gears slightly as we look at this weekend as well. You have another big weekend in KwaZulu-Natal unfolding. Are you anticipating any challenges? I mean, we've seen some of the regional conferences failing to, to adopt credentials, in record time, and this dragging on for even 10 hours in some of them.
KwaZulu-Natal has received its final report that the Treasurer General, on behalf of the DSG, has signed off. They do have a process that they are now completing today of pre-registration. Tomorrow, delegates will be arriving to receive their tax. With the work that has been done so far, we are hopeful that there will be less hiccups, because NEC deployees themselves have been on board. Later this evening, we will be meeting with them. Of course, there's contestation on positions, which I don't believe that it should be seen as something that is problematic. It's about democracy within the organization. The adoption of credentials and stuff, I think the steering committee of the conference has been meeting last night. They finished early hours of today. And we are meeting tonight with the NEC deployees and the steering committee, represented by the provincial secretary and his team. All the disputes that were before the National Dispute Resolutions Committee have been resolved, and we hope that it will be a smooth conference. Whatever that will happen will be managed within the rules of the conference itself. They will also dedicate time during the opening session to celebrating the life of Comrade Jessie Duarte. So we're looking forward to the conference of KwaZulu-Natal that will start tomorrow.
How, talking about, a process that you think you hope will be smooth, how will you handle the issue around Umamzandile Kumete? Because we've seen some, reports and suggestions that she's met the threshold as far as the branches are concerned, and she may then contest the position of treasurer, in KwaZulu-Natal. And I'm asking this in the context of the step-aside resolution. Could we see the same thing that was done in Limpopo around Denim Caesar unfolding here?
There is an NEC resolution that says comrades in that situation should not be encouraged to avail themselves. And if it so happens that this matter again presents itself at conference, we are quite certain that both the PEC and the steering committee, together with us who will be in KwaZulu-Natal, will be able to handle it. Of course, comrades have registered in their own pre-conference preparations that this matter needs to be looked at, because initially the issue of step aside was said to be something that must be continuously be a subject of review, so that then you do not disadvantage people by protracted processes that do not actually reach finality. So we will handle it in line with the resolution of the NEC to say comrades should not avail themselves.
Just before I let you go, in 10 seconds, how far are you with the process of reviewing the State Capture Commission's report? Because some of the media reports are suggesting that you said that you were going to do this.
We are dealing with that, and it has nothing to do with the ANC and Jessie, but we are dealing with it.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. That is the NEC member of the ANC, Nomvula Mokonyane.